Let's break down the Boeing stock chart you shared in a casual, conversational way, like I'm chatting with a friend about it. This analysis is based on the daily chart up to April 24, 2025, with all the details like price movements, moving averages, support/resistance levels, volume, RSI, and MACD. I'll keep it simple and friendly, focusing on what's happening and what it might mean for you if you're thinking about trading or investing. Boeing BA stock technical analysis. Let's talk it out. Hey there. So, I took a look at the Boeing stock chart you sent me, and let's just say there's a lot going on here. I'll walk you through it step by step, like we're sitting down with a coffee, figuring out what's up with Boeing BA as of April 24, 2025. The stock closed at $176.26 today, but it hit a high of $183.61 recently, so let's dig into the details and see what's cooking. Point 1. What's the price doing? Alright, let's start with the big picture. On April 2nd, Boeing was sitting at $149.13, pretty low, right? From there, it went on a nice run, climbing all the way up to $183.61 by April 17th. That's a solid 23% gain in just a couple of weeks, pretty impressive. But here's the thing, after hitting that peak, it pulled back a bit. Today, April 24th, it closed at $176.26, which is up 4.97% for the day, plus $8.40. Over the past week, it's also up 2.26%, so the overall vibe is still positive, but it looks like it's taking a breather after that big jump. What does this mean? Well, the stock's been in a strong uptrend, but the recent dip from $183.61 to $176.26 suggests it might be cooling off a bit, maybe consolidating before deciding its next move. Point 2. Moving averages. Are they cheering for Boeing? Let's check out the moving averages. They're like the stock's cheerleaders, telling us if the trend is still on our side. Here's what we've got. The 5-day moving average MA is at $166.47. 20-day MA is at $160.11, 50-day MA is at $166.86, 100-day MA is at $169.20, 200-day MA is at $165.77. Here's the good news. The current price of $176.26 is above all of these moving averages. That's a big green flag. It means the stock is still in a bullish trend, whether you're looking at the short term, 5-day, medium-term, 50-day, or long-term, 200-day. Even the 60-day DMA, double exponential moving average, at $163.14 is below the price, which backs up the upward momentum, but there's a little heads up. The linear regression line, over 10 days, is at $170.56, which is just below the current price. This could mean the stock is a bit overextended in the short term, and we might see a small pullback to get closer to that line. Point 3. Indicators. What's the mood like? Now let's peek at some indicators to get a sense of the stock's mood. Think of it like checking Boeing's pulse. RSI 14, it's at 60.63, which is kind of in the middle. RSI ranges from 0 to 100, and anything above 70 means the stock might be overbought, too hot, while below 30 means oversold, too cold. At 60.63, Boeing is warm but not overheating yet. It's got some room to run before we start worrying about it being overbought, but we should keep an eye on it if it gets closer to 70. MACD 12.26. The MACD is at 2.24, and it's giving a bullish signal because it's above the signal line. That's a thumbs up for the uptrend. But the histogram, at 2.55, is slightly lower than it was before, 2.24, so the momentum might be slowing down. Just a tad. In short, the indicators are saying, hey, the uptrend is still alive, but don't get too comfy. Things might slow down a bit soon. 4. Support and resistance. Where's the safety net and the ceiling? Let's talk about the key levels to watch. Think of these as the floor, support, and ceiling, resistance, for Boeing's price, resistance. The big ceiling right now is $183.61. That's the high from April 17th. The stock tried to break through but couldn't hold it and fell back to $176.26. If it can get past $183.61, we might see it aim for $190 or higher. Support. On the downside, the first safety net is at $166.47, the 5-day MA. If that doesn't hold, the next level is $160.11, the 20-day MA. Worst case, if things really go south, $149.13, the low from April 2nd, could act as a strong long-term support. Pivot levels. The weekly pivot is at $159.78, with support 1 at $155.66 and support 2 at $149.42. These line up nicely with our moving averages, so they're good levels to watch. The chart also shows an Ikimoku cloud, that red shaded area. The price broke above the cloud around April 11th, which was a bullish signal, and it's stayed above since then. That's another sign the trend is still on the positive side. 5. Volume. Are people still interested? Volume tells us how much action the stock is seeing. On April 24th, the volume was 21.96 million shares, not bad. During the big run-up from April 2nd to April 17th, the volume was pretty high, which means a lot of people were jumping in to buy. But in the last few days, April 21st to 24th, the volume has dropped a bit as the price pulled back from $183.61 to $176.26. What's this telling us? The lower volume during the pullback suggests there's not a ton of selling pressure. It's more like a technical correction rather than a big wave of people dumping the stock. That's a good sign if you're looking for the uptrend to continue. 6. What's next? Let's break it down. Alright, let's put it all together and figure out what might happen next for Boeing. Short term, 1 to 5 days, the stock's still looking pretty good. It's above all the moving averages, and the MACD is bullish. But with the RSI at 60.63, it's getting a bit warm, so there's a chance we could see a little dip soon. If the price holds above $176.26, it might take another shot at $183.61. But if it drops below $166.47, the 5-day MA, we could see it slide down to $160.11. I'd guess tomorrow's opening might be around $176.26, give or take a couple of bucks. Medium term, 1 to 4 weeks. In the next few weeks, the key is whether Boeing can break past $183.61. If it does, we could see it climb toward $190 or even higher. If it can't, and it falls below $160.11, that might signal a bigger pullback, maybe down to $149.13. Right now, it looks like it's consolidating, kind of taking a break before its next big move. Long term, 1 to 3 months. Over the next few months, the long-term trend is still bullish since the price is above the 200-day MA. If it breaks $183.61 and keeps going, $200 could be on the table. But if it falls below $149.13, that might mean the bulls are losing steam, and we'd need to rethink things. 7. Some ideas for you. Here's what I'd do if I were you, depending on your goals. If you're trading short term, I'd look to buy around $176.26 to $166.47, with a stop loss just below $166.47, maybe around $165, so you're risking about 5 to 6%. Your target would be $183.61, and if it breaks that, maybe even $190. Just keep an eye on the RSI. If it hits 70, that might be a sign to take some profits. If you're in for the long haul, I'd wait for a dip to $160.11 or $149.13 to buy. That's a safer spot for a longer-term investment. Your target could be $200 down the road, but be patient, because it might take a while to get there. Risk tip: the stock's got some volatility, about $5 a day based on the chart. So, don't go all in at once, and maybe keep your position size a bit smaller to play it safe. That's the rundown on Boeing. It's looking pretty solid overall, but there's a chance for a little pullback in the short term, so just keep that in mind. Let me know if you want to dive deeper or look at something else. I'm happy to help.